God for women. I just want to tell you, I don't know how y'all do what you do. I do thank God that it's probably going to sound bad, but I'm so glad Eve ate that apple first, or eat the fruit first, because we can't do what y'all do and not do it well. There's just no way. We every other week, April works, so I get the 5 kids by myself. And, buddy, I'm going to tell you, just to show you how it goes, Friday, we had a field trip. In public school, we've done everything we can to make sure they get to get part of your week. In spring hits, your week belongs to the school. That's just how it's going to be. So, Friday, we had a field trip. We had a funeral. And so I got up Friday morning. I thought I was doing it. We were going to go get gas Thursday night. So we wouldn't be late, get the boys late for school. So Sophia's like, I'm about to pee all over myself. I said, okay, boys, you're getting up early. We're going to get gas in the morning. So we get up, get breakfast done, get everybody dressed. We had Lunchables for the field trip. Got everybody out the door, sitting at Brown's Grocery about 7:30, getting ready. And I realized I forgot the lunches. Well, then I looked down at my feet and I'm wearing pink Crocs. I forgot my shoes. Now, the reason I have pink Crocs is because they were camouflage, and I painted the girl's bedroom and they got pink when I painted them. And that stuff don't come off. Yes, it is. Anyway, that stuff don't come off. So not only had I forgotten the lunches, I had forgotten my shoes. And I thank God for mamas. And not just mamas, but just women in general. Y'all are awesome. I mean, y'all are phenomenal. And just to tell you how the week's been, I got my glasses Wednesday. And Charles Spurgeon said, either be humble or be humbled. And when I was at the doctor's office getting my glasses, she went back and checked my record. She goes, well, you are over 40. How about that? And I was like, yeah. Well, Wednesday when I had the glasses on for the first time, I was holding Livy in the Dollar General, and this old woman come up and said, you need to tell your pawpaw to take you to the pool. Yeah, so anyway, as we were getting ready for today's message, I did not realize how many women hate to hear the Proverbs 31 message. As I was studying and finding people commenting on it, I normally don't preach the Proverbs 31 message. I don't know that I've ever preached it on Mother's Day, just because that's the most common message preached on Mother's Day. But there's a lot of women that said, I don't like it. It just reminds me of everything I'm not. And if you look closely, she had maids. Okay? So, I went, all right. So, anyway, as we're preparing for this today, and we want to honor all of our ladies, from maternal mothers to spiritual mothers, just mothers, just y'all, those with motherly spirits. Y'all are amazing. And I believe true ministry starts with y'all. We know him today as St. Augustine, one of the founders of our faith. So many, he does a picture of many of the fathers of the church that we know. But what we don't know often is that he was a help. He was a womanizer, he was a drunkard, and his mother would stand and tell him, Augustine, if you do not repent and believe upon the Lord Jesus Christ, I will stand in approval one day as God has cast you into hell and you have rejected him. Because she said, I love you, but I love my God more. And she told him you need to repent. Eventually he did repent, and boy did God use him in a mighty way. He's still using him today. That mother's love that we remember is that full-time minister, that full-time one that's investing in us, our taxi driver, our chef, our tailor, our personal physician, all the things that you mothers do, and you do so much better than we as men, because we are in a box, right? And so, our thing is, if we're watching the kids and we're building a project, somehow we need to find some way to involve that child in the project so that we can keep them busy so we can get something done. They don't have hips to hold up a tool belt as young as my kids are, I'll tell you right now, okay? So you have to figure something out. But you ladies, y'all can do it all. And I don't know how you do it, but thank God for you. And we want to honor you this morning. We're glad you're here. It's a hard day for some folks. Some folks have dealt with infertility. Some folks, mamas have gone home, already graduated. And so it's a different day. We have a lot of people out visiting their mothers in other places today. And cherish your mamas, man. Cherish your mamas. Well, let's go to the Lord in prayer. Like I tell you, We this week was a week we got to go. We ended up doing there was 2 graduation ceremonies this week of folks that did get to heaven this week, and the pleasure, the joy that was found in this week is both families could say, I know that they knew Jesus Christ. There's no doubt. Sometimes we do funerals and stuff, and you try to guess, well, were they? Did they ever? Maybe they did. But this week was able to stand with both families, and both families say they knew Jesus. And that is it's completely different when you know that they knew Jesus. And that's one of the things we see about our mamas. That's as our mamas invest in us. And you know, I was in Proverbs and turned right back, so I was in the right place and not in the wrong place. But as we see our mamas invest in us and teaching them children, who's often the first one that teaches our children how to pray? It's usually the mamas. Are the ones that read that Bible story. It's the mamas. Even, and you obviously the mothers, we have these folks out here that come out here that need money. And it's an amazing thing we see. This Proverbs 31 is not a man writing what he thinks a perfect woman should be. This is the mother of King Lemuel who is telling her son, so she gives him the first, I think, 9 verses. She tells him not to drink. She tells him to help out those that are in their misery and their poverty. And then she gets there in verse 10 and she tells him, son, there's a woman worth pursuing, and this is the one you need to look for. So this isn't just a mother thinking no one's good enough for her son. She understands that a godly woman, just like fathers understand that a godly man who is going to stand with their child, their daughter, is something that needs to complete them and point them toward the cross of Christ. This is something that needs to happen. So she tells her son, she says, who can find a virtuous wife? This literally, virtuous literally means a wife of valor. This is a strong woman. This is a woman who knows who she is in Christ Jesus. This is a woman who relies upon the grace of the Lord, and she ministers to it in her family and those around her. She's a very strong woman. This is not, in many religions, they treat their women like cattle. They must walk behind, they're submissive, they're just, and in some places have more use for their livestock than they do their women. Christianity is not that way. Christianity elevates our women to a position of honor because Christ died for you and has redeemed you. You are precious and you have a powerful and mighty place in the ministry of God. Without you in the church in America, I don't know what would get done. There was a group called the Concerned Citizens in Crestview where they would go on Friday, Saturday nights, and they would confront the drug dealers. They would go up there, and they drove around in a car, and they had a police radio, and every one of them were women in the late 60s and early 70s. You remember that? Yes. And you ain't heard nothing till you hear a little old woman. Y'all, I'm trying to say it right. You ain't ever heard nothing till you hear a little old woman get on the police radio and tell you better get over here right now because I'm fitting to get out with him, and I'm telling you, you need to be here. And they mean it, and they're happy to see you when you get there because she might not beat them to death in your presence. But I'll tell you right now, the girls don't care if you wear a badge, you there or not. They don't tell them what's got to be said. Every one of them was with them. And they would go around and they would ask them, what you doing out here on this corner? Why are you standing here? You know you got a possibility to go to school. Don't you play football? They knew which ones played football. They knew which ones did good in school, had this, that, didn't, which one didn't have a daddy. And I'm telling you, they cared. But there was not a man amongst them. It was the women. Did you know in the majority of these churches when something needs to be done, guess who it is that usually does it? It's the women. And this woman here, she is a strong, you could go to Naomi, you could go to Ruth, you could go to Deborah, you could go to Mary, you could go to Sarah. You could see so many Esther, you could see so many examples of strength in godly women in the Bible, and they are precious. And that's what she says, who can find a virtuous wife, a wife of valor, a strong, brave woman? Her worth is far above rubies. She is priceless. She is something, boys, if you're in here and you're single, she is the woman worth waiting for. As I pray for my sons, and I pray for my sons that God would give them a godly wife. I pray for my daughters that God would send them a godly husband. And I think that my sons, and maybe it's just because, like Jimmy said earlier, I used to be a young man. And no matter what the woman at Dollar General said, but I pray not only that my sons end up with godly wives, but I pray that they pursue godly women. Because that type of woman that respects herself, that type of woman that loves her God, that knows who she is in her God, and she personifies that. That is something that is priceless. That is something that you just can't find everywhere. And ladies, through Christ Jesus, that's what you strive to do. You say, this isn't fair. Men don't get this. Yes, they do. In 1 Timothy chapter 3 and in Titus, when they lay out the qualifications for pastor and deacons, it lays out what type of man this is to be. Paul instructs Timothy what type of man he is to be. I have actually heard unqualified pastors say that no man can obtain the qualifications required for a pastor and deacon. When you say that about that text, or when you say that no woman can obtain the qualities of Proverbs 31, then what we say is God is a liar. God doesn't know what He's talking about. God's standard is too high, so we have dumbed it down, and this is where we'll be, because God can't do what God said He could do. That's literally what we say when we say it's impossible to accomplish what God has said is the standard. So there's no reason to hate this woman. This is a woman laying this out. She is a woman that's looking at this and saying, my son, this is the strong woman you need. Man, when we meet the ladies, sometimes we're gifted different. You know, and we live in a generation now where it's trying to say same, same, same. Now, equal does not mean same. Thank God there's differences. I mean, I like the differences. I'm glad that my wife, I can screw up a budget. You hear me? My wife can take next to nothing and stretch it out and do things with it, and I don't know how she does it. Me, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul. I'm doing this, that, and the other, and she's like, check, 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 boom, 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 we'll have this here, this day, this here. It's all in her head. That's her gift. She's gifted. And we start to see so many have various gifts. He tells her, or she tells him, she said, the heart of her husband safely trusts her. It is an amazing thing to be able to trust your spouse. And I've sat with people who cannot. I've sat with people that do not. And to being able to be at that point where you can say with trust it, say, look, I know they're going to represent Christ, and because they're representing Christ, they're going to honor me. As a husband, my wife should be able to trust me for that. She should be able to say, my husband loves Jesus. Therefore, I'm trusting that he loves me and he's honoring me. A husband should be able to take that from his wife. The heart of her husband safely trusts her. Have you ever seen or known or maybe been in a situation to where that safety and trust is not there? It's a miserable situation. And this is when you know she loves you, God, more than she loves you, there's a great peace in that. So as we see that come about in the lives, and we pray for that in our lives, if I want you to look at Ephesians chapter 4, keep your finger there, we're coming right back. Ephesians chapter 4. As Ephesians deals with the family, there is no bigger element in your life that can cause you the stress that comes with your family. Ain't that the truth? Some of you wives kind of watching your husbands. Some of your husbands get fixed to get elbows in the ribs, a little bit. But our family, we stress each other out, don't we? We're cordial to each other, right? I mean, if we're not family, we come and we shake hands, we hug necks, and we don't want to stress each other out. But if you're my family, look, we live together. You're going to have to deal with it because I'm going through something right now. And we'll fix this on the other side of it. You understand me? Don't give me no lip. I got enough right now. Ain't none of y'all ever said that. But, you know, we see that. But look at Ephesians chapter 4, because Ephesians chapter 4, right before we get into the armor of God and spiritual warfare, guess what it deals with? The family. Because there's no place Satan will hit you harder than with your family. And if we can get disrupted in the family so much to the point that as a pastor or a deacon, if your household is not in order, we become disqualified to serve at the church until we get that in order. So Satan will hit the family. Right now we're having we had a great symposium last week. If people come, we said some folks brought some good ideas. We're the college and career, young married college and career. That's we got a fellow working with that, and then we got Miss Linda is doing. I started calling it. Where you at? There you are. Hey, what are you doing? You do have a Baptist background, don't you? You didn't just switch seats, you switched sides. Anyway, all right. Anyhow, Miss Linda, I called it the PK class to the pre-K class because both of them are preacher's kids. So, but she's doing the young kids. She's got kindergarten, preschool, kindergarten in there with her. We're praying for somebody to do the elementary school kids on Wednesday night. And let Jimmy focus on what Jimmy's called to focus on. Because there's a war for our families. Satan wants to destroy your family. You realize this is, I think, 3 weeks in a row that we have dealt and prayed about situations involving assaults, including a minor. And let me tell you something. Just because someone has crossed 18 doesn't mean they're not a kid anymore. You know? So there's an attack on our young people. And if we flood the streets like an open sewer with pornography and sexual images and stuff every single where you can't flip through the TV, you can't watch the morning news. Everywhere there's something presented that our children see that just flippantly just goes by. And it saturates our lives. And our children are consumed by it because we have raised them in something where they're just desensitized to it. And I tell you who's on the front line of that battle is the moms. Now here we get to the point. We need to fill those positions. And we a nursery trying to get a good nursery ministry. And dedicate that one of them safe rooms over there in the nursery. There's going to be a thing just to put your kid in, hang it on the wall. You can pick it up like a coat hanger when you come here. They said we can't do that. But look, here's the thing. It talks about in the family, in Ephesians, it tells us to walk worthy. How you and I walk in my household. How we walk together. Because family is stressful. It says, therefore, that I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, Paul speaking, beseech you to walk worthy of the calling with which you were called, with all lowliness and gentleness, with long suffering, bearing with one another in love. Now, when you put this into perspective, because if we take Ephesians and we just say it's a letter to the church dealing with individual topics and that it's not all connected, but if we realize and put it in context, we see it leading up to the spiritual warfare that goes on, we have to understand that this is talking about the family. When we see this, it goes on. It's even going to go on in chapter 5 to lay out the roles of the father, the mother, the children, even your boss man, even you as an employee. It goes on and lays all that out in chapter 5. But in this relationship situation, we're talking about our families. Because if there's one place we're going to fall, it's going to be in the family. I can put on a good show for you. I put a bell at my house now. When you cross the driveway, it sends an alarm at the house. If I'm screaming at somebody, I can stop and act pastoral before you get to the driveway and see you through the window. I haven't, but that's a great idea. But anyway, but I mean, family will stress you out. And we'll stress each other out. We said, look, walk worthy. Okay, I can walk worthy at church. I can do that. I can maybe even walk worthy at work. But now I got to walk worthy at home. And that's really should be where we start. So to walk worthy of the calling, and with lowliness and gentleness, with long suffering, patience, bearing with one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There's one body and one Spirit, just as you were called in one hope of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. Now, that's what this strong-hearted woman does. She strengthens that, and she tries to make the mesh. If one of my children are suffering, it should affect the whole family. And it does. You can't get around that. If there's something going on in the household, you need a strong, godly woman who can look and say, how do I, in wisdom, minister to this situation? If Ephesians chapter 5 compares marriage to the relationship between Christ and His church, so we start to see not just the body as the church, but if we're believers in my household, we're a part of one body. If I'm a malfunctioning member of that body, then it affects the entire body, does it not? So when we see the thing that's laid out here, and we try to understand, she will have no lack of gain. If this woman is a godly woman, there's going to be gain in the house. It's not just talking about the material possessions. This is talking about a spiritual growth that is going to come between her and her husband. My wife reached that long before I did about being a godly man. I told my children this. I shared this with a couple I was counseling the other day. She decided she was going to be a godly woman, no matter how big of an idiot I was. She was going to pursue Jesus with all she had, and that was it, because she loved Jesus more than she loved me. So she began to fulfill a role, which kind of put me in a spot where I had to say, okay. She reached that point. There was gain in our household as we began to, God said if you desire Him, what will He give you? Him. So as she leads in this household, there'll be a gain. If she's leading you to Christ, then there's a gain. And then that woman, man, it's an amazing thing. So she does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. She is a profitable steward. She is not in the kitchen barefoot pregnant. Some people I've seen ladies just not even go to church on this day because they were going to have to leave and feel guilty because they had a job. That's not what Proverbs 31 is telling you. This is an industrious woman. She is a woman, she is smart, she is making decisions, she is looking for deals. I mean, she is going out, she's like a merchant ship. She brings her food from afar. She also rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household. And this is one of my wife's favorite verses. And a portion for her maid servants. You see, she had maid servants. But she is providing. She is helping. She is making decisions. Listen to this. She considers a field and buys it. She's making a decision. This is not the mindless baby-making machine that people would have you think that Christianity believes women should be. Not at all. That is not what this is. She is your partner. We talk about, we do pre-marriage counseling. I tell the couple, you need to go to the New Testament and just the Gospels, and you need to find 10 things, characteristics of the way that Jesus treated the disciples or the church. Because you and I, as husbands, are to treat our wives like Christ loved the church. And people say, well, of course I'd die for my wife. I don't know that I've ever met a man that would not die for his wife, lost or saved. That's not what it's talking about. That is part of it. But what it is talking about, will you live for her? Will you invest in her? Will you teach her? Will you lift her up? Will you encourage her? Will you support her? Jesus said to the disciples, He said, I have called you friends. You don't make your friend walk 6 steps behind you. You don't trade your friend for a better cow. You understand? You don't expect your friend to tolerate that just because you've cloaked it in religion, that your adultery and your affairs and all this other stuff is okay because you think she's less of a person than you are. This is the picture that Christ has given. He says, listen, I'm comparing the bride, a bride, to the bride of Christ, to the church. She is cherished. She is something that is amazing. So she's not treated like a second-class citizen. This woman is industrious. She is providing. She is making decisions. She is smart, and she is cherished. And she is, like it said, far more valuable than rubies. Listen, from her profit, she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. This is the strength of the Lord. I want you to look at Psalms 27. David writes, he said, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? If you go on, you were to read all 14 verses of that psalm. It's a very encouraging psalm. But I want you to look at verse 14. It says, wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Her strength is the strength of the Lord. That is what she relies on. When I had one mom come in this morning, so I was in full mom mode this morning. Now, growing up at my house, that meant something different. Growing up at my house, when mom was in full mom mode, and we wasn't talking about clean. We was talking about every stupid thing we done that she was chewing us out about, that we were in trouble about. And it was still situation red, so you try to stay outside or stay away. Or if my dad had done something, Conway Jr. was playing real loud, you need to definitely stay outside or go to somebody's house. That's what we considered mom mode, okay? I also found out this morning that mom mode is cleaning throw up in the bathroom, all over the bathroom at midnight. That is mom mode also. And we had a mother come in this morning that she was doing that. Moms are awesome. But the strength is the Lord. When that kid comes home and they start turning into a teenager, they begin to break that heart. And a mom begins to hit her knees and pray for them and lift them up like nothing else. And for years we've known mothers that prayed that their children would come back to Jesus, come back to Jesus, come back to Jesus. And even have people at funerals say, if you do nothing else at my funeral, share the gospel. And maybe my son or my daughter, I want to see him again one day. There's a story of a mother that was laying there on her deathbed, and she had 4 children. And the first one came in, and she said, I love you. And she said, I'll see you soon. The second one come in and said, I love you. And I'll see you again one day. We'll meet again one day. The third one came in, same situation. She hugged him, said, I love you, and I'll see you soon. The fourth one come in, and she said, goodbye. And he said, wait a minute. His mom, you told all them you'd see them again. To me, you said goodbye. She said, yes, I did. She said, you have rejected Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. She said, son, I'll never see you again. She said, I'll spend eternity with Jesus, and I'll spend eternity with your brothers and sisters, but you will spend eternity in hell separated from God because you rejected the salvation provided through Jesus. He began to weep. The story goes that he believed upon the Lord Jesus. But you see a mother's love, when a mother loves us enough to tell us how it is. Mamas don't hold back a whole lot, do they? When they love us enough to tell us how it is, and that strength that they get comes from the Lord, because we will take a mama for granted in a heartbeat. But when we realize all that they do and all that they do for us, and not just us, but other people. If your mama's still living, I encourage you to look around and see, and if your mama's already graduated, I encourage you to look back. If you look back at history, you'll find out your mama didn't just do for you, she did for others. I was watching an episode of Rifleman one day. Mark had a bad fever. Lucas had went out and got the doctor come in there and was trying to get him, trying to get his fever down. And there was a lady there, and he asked her to quit. The doctor said, are you a nurse? She said, I'm a woman. He said, come on. So she was a caretaker by nature. It's just something that God has blessed them with. Because I tell you what, you ask Jacob, back when it was just me and him, we'd go to work. And he'd get done with his academics, and we'd get done, we'd come out here and work, and he'd look and he'd say, Daddy, are we going to eat today? It's like 4 o'clock, Dad, we hadn't had lunch. You think we might get lunch? Then he goes home and rats me out to his mother. Because we're men, we get in that box. We're doing something. If men had to do, man, thank God for women, because if it wasn't for women, I don't know that I know the human race wouldn't continue. That's kind of self-giving. Regardless of what Berkeley says, that's kind of self-giving. It wouldn't continue, okay? But I mean, there'd be y'all keep us where we need to be. And we see this, and it goes on, so we see that strength. She perceives that her merchandise is good. Her lamp does not go out by night. You don't see a lazy mama. She stretches out her hands to this staff, and her hand holds the spindle and extends her hand to the poor. Like I said, she does for more than just you. Yes, she reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid for her household. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for her household is clothed with scarlet. Mamas are prepared. Man, my wife makes fun of me sometimes when I'm taking the kids to school, and she said, we got to go here, and we got to get going. We got to have this much time, and go pick up up. My mama would sit in line for 30 minutes to 45 minutes waiting for us to get out of school in case she broke down. And that was, she wanted to be there when we got out. She wanted to make sure she was there. Most prepared woman. Always had snacks in the house. She'd tell us. One time we were talking about this, and he was talking about it the other day. He said, Mama would buy cookies we didn't like. And I said, Mama, we don't like these cookies. She said, your daddy does. You know? And she said, that way I know you ain't going to eat them. So, but I mean, always prepared. I don't ever remember Mama saying, I don't know what we're having for supper. That is a common occurrence at our house. What are we going to do for supper, and where do we have to go, and how are we going to get? I mean, that is I think my mama knew every meal we was going to have every 7 days. And so, I mean, you see this, she don't worry about it going to snow because her house is ready. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. And it goes on and it says, she makes tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. She takes care of herself. Her husband is known in the gates. And what this means in this time period, to be known in the gates means he is a man of great good reputation that sits, or could be a bad reputation, but he's known in the places like the council. He's known in the places of decision making. He has a good reputation amongst the leaders of the town, and part of that is called a her. And y'all know that. Man, if somebody has got a godly wife or a wife that represents well, somebody will say, you're so-and-so's husband, ain't you? And they know. And y'all know what I'm talking about, because we probably hear more of it being in the South, bless our heart, that you let somebody have a wife that ain't so good. Ain't that so? Oh, they're married to such and such. Y'all know that carries a whole conversation in the South, don't it? That means a lot. So, but her husband's known the gates. He is well respected. When he sits among the elders of the land, she makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies sashes for the merchants. Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. She ain't lazy. I guarantee you, Mama knows what's going on. Daddy will be oblivious to a lot of stuff. Mamas will come in there and just like, wait, hang on a minute. Do you know what's going on? April did. She'll point out, did you see what so-and-so was watching? Did you see what so-and-so, did you hear this conversation? And I'm like, huh? And she'll point that out and say, oh, I got to deal with that. It's like a watchdog, man. You just like on guard. And mamas do that. They speak with wisdom. The Psalm 141 tells us, oh Lord, put a guard. 141 verse 3, oh Lord, put a guard over my mouth. Keep watch over the door of my lips. Mamas are lips seem to be better about that. Especially as sons get older. And daddies, there's a, Don's always said it's a relationship that's made to be broken. And it's a thing where he's coming up where he is to get to that point to where Jacob got on me for not switching the feet out the other day. You didn't hit me the bucket, you should have done that. And I'm like, he kind of reprimanded me a little bit, but he should be getting to learn that. There should come, you stay in place, boy. But there should be getting to a place where that's coming up, so there starts to be a little friction somewhere around 12, 13. And then when you get to be 22, you realize you don't know how your daddy got so smart overnight. You just have no clue how that man got so smart in that short time. But there starts to be that friction. Somehow their mamas come in there and they kind of speak with wisdom. When daddies are like, I didn't take him out behind the barn and one of us ain't coming back. But mama's talking with wisdom and mama's ministering in that situation. She watches over the ways of her house, does not even her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. There's no greater testimony to a mother than from her children and from her husband than to say, you know what, thank you for what you do. Thank you for ministering to us. And we almost, and we don't, none of us want to admit it, we take that for granted. We almost expect it. So sometimes we don't say thank you when we should say thank you. But days like today when we get to tell all of our ladies, thank you. I know, man, y'all, there'll be kids out here that's looking pitiful. We have a time event show. They ain't got no money. Or they ain't got nothing. Or they're watching other kids sitting there doing while they're eating a popsicle or something like that. And one of you ladies is going to go buy them one. Or one of you ladies is taking over there. Now, my little heathens, they can put on a show. They'll pretend like, yeah, nothing. You know, don't fall for it with them, I promise you, okay? But I see y'all. Or I see y'all when you have a kid that comes out here that their life is terrible at home. I mean, terrible. Some dad's in prison, some don't know who dad is. Some come from a situation that they've made a horror movie out of, and they got no friends, they got no group, and they come out here, and some of you you get with them and you invest in them for that just a few minutes a week. They get to know somebody else. It's an amazing thing. That'll cost you. Some of y'all go to the ball field. You'll see a kid that maybe nobody comes to watch their game. You'll tell them, let's go. Or you go to field day. And y'all invest in them. And that's, if you don't do it as believers, don't worry. The devil's got somebody that will. We need to be spiritual fathers and mothers to everyone we can. And that means walking worthy of what we've been called to do. We need to honor Him. We need to let our, there's something to be proud of. It's amazing how much we honor someone after they're gone. And we say all the things about them that just maybe if we had said to them, it might have encouraged their heart. So I want to encourage you this morning, call your mama blessed if she's alive. Young daddies, husbands, you want to honor the women in your lives and let them know they are more valuable than the people that are photoshopped in the Sports Illustrated magazine. You ought to honor them because they are more precious than rubies. It says, listen, it says many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Listen to this, boys, and I mean this. Charm is deceitful. The Bible, if you look at Proverbs, I think it's Proverbs 6, it would give so many warnings to men about falling for flirtatious women. You don't have to see a lot of that about women because women tend to be smarter than men are when it comes to that type of stuff. You get a boy in the presence of a pretty girl, his IQ drops 10 points. You get a boy and one of his friends, a boy in the presence of one of his friends and a pretty girl, his IQ just drops below recognition. We've all been there if you're born. If you hadn't, you got another problem. So as you look at this and you realize, look, charm is deceitful and beauty is passing. Don't care how good you looked yesterday. There's going to come a day you ain't going to look like that. Even if you live in Hollywood, can pay the best plastic surgeons money can buy. Sooner or later, you're going to quit looking like you did when you started. So, charm is deceitful, beauty is passing. Listen now, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. We should be the testimony of those that women have invested in us. Honor your mom. I say the toughest criminals break down and cry when mama's reprimanded. I ain't talking about the mamas that used to picking on my son ain't never done nothing wrong. I'm talking about when the mama comes out and says, I told you this is where you're going to end up. This is where you are. You better get yourself straight because your next stop's the cemetery. You hear me? And you just watch the toughest thug just break down and cry. Don't care what you say. Don't care what the preacher says. But that mama says, you're breaking my heart. And I love you. And I'm praying for you. boy, there ain't nothing like a mama's love. They say that the loss of your mother is the first tough thing, or first tragedy you'll ever go through without her. Because she's there with you on every other thing. So I encourage you today, mamas, we love you. Spiritual mamas, physical mamas, we love you. Thank God for you. And I want to know you are priceless. And we thank God for you. And I want you to know that we honor you today. Let's pray.